Hey everyone, it's Sonia here to give you another update on the postal strike situation and also our government, which is completely falling apart at this point. So the Canadian Industrial Relations Board had the meeting over the weekend, the hearings regarding the situation with Canada Post, and they decided that they were at an impasse and they ordered them to go back to work, I think Tuesday. However, they won't be accepting mail until Thursday. Personally, I figured that this was going to happen. I thought it was like an inside job. I was pretty sure that they had appointed someone who was not going to let this drag out. But anyway, this is where we're at now. However, it's not really over because what they did was they just extended the contract until May. So theoretically, they could just resume striking in May. But aside from that, the um, the Canadian Union of Postal Workers is is gonna challenge this. They're saying that it's a violation of their human rights according to the Canadian Charter of Human Rights and Freedoms. As I'm saying that, I'm thinking, well, I mean, given the history in recent years, I think it's pretty easy to violate people's human rights here in Canada. But anyway, they're going to appeal it, and I'm not sure if they're going to take it to a superior court or they're going to take it to the Human Rights Commission. I'm not sure how that's going to go. Let me give you a little bit of the background regarding that. In 2016, there was back to work legislature, meaning it was coming from the government, though, by vote in the parliament, which was considered unconstitutional by the Ontario Superior Court. And this was regarding a postal strike under Stephen Harper. They said that the back to work law violated freedom of association and expression. But in this case, now they didn't pass any kind of law. It's like the Trudeau government, I think, two reasons. First of all, they knew they did not have the support of any of the opposition to pass such a law. And B, if they had somehow found a way to pass the law, then there would have been a non-confidence vote from whoever was against it. Either way, it was like a lose-lose situation. So they found a way around this with this CERB and the hearings. And yeah, it is not actually law. And it's a kind of pause in the strike. So I'm not sure how that's going to apply as far as the human rights issue goes. The Liberal MP, Anthony Housefather, said yeah, they would have had to have 20 opposition votes to pass a legislation, and they didn't have that. He also said that the issue is kind of maybe that there needs to be a change to the labor code in terms of the definition of what is essential services. I guess that they don't define Canada Post as an essential service, but maybe it should be defined as such. And if that was to happen, then I don't really think that Canada Post would have much recourse, and they basically wouldn't be allowed to walk off the job, same as policemen or doctors or whatever. But for now, whether the postal workers agree with this ruling or not, they have to go back to work. And if they don't show up to work, they can be fired for abandoning their post. So for now, that's where we're at. And maybe in January they'll take this up with a higher court and then we'll find out. But for now, the postal service is running, at least for maybe for the next month. It should be all in the clear. However, there is of course a backlog of millions of packages. I can't even believe that there's articles in the news telling people that they probably won't get their packages for Christmas if they mail them now. I mean, really, did you really think that you could mail something now and get it in 2 weeks? Not even 2 weeks. Christmas is like just over a week away. Man, I need to get on it. I don't even have lights up or anything. So here's the real drama though. Postal service issues aside, our government here is pretty much just falling apart at the seams. Everyone wants Justin Trudeau out. Even the Liberals want him out now. A lot of this traces back to the issue of Trump saying he's going to impose 25% tariffs. On Friday, Justin Trudeau asked Chrystia Freeland leave her post as finance minister and take some other kind of a job. The reason for this was related to these tariffs that Trump is going to impose on goods coming from Canada, 25% tariffs. Well, Chrystia Freeland didn't take that very well at all and decided to resign altogether and not be part of Justin Trudeau's cabinet anymore. And the way that she did this was she posted a resignation letter on X explaining that she acting on behalf of the prime minister who has to have full confidence in her. If he doesn't have confidence in her, she can't in good conscience continue at all in service in his cabinet. So she left, and then at the same time it was announced that housing minister Sean Fraser had resigned as well. He said it was just to spend more time with his family, but at this point, honestly, it's like the rats are jumping ship. Really, at this point, it's just a complete disaster. We're facing a really bad situation here in Canada. I mean, already we're in a huge amount of debt because of what Justin Trudeau did. Our economy is already really precarious. Lots of inflation, and people are really struggling to make ends meet. I mean, the quality of life has just really decreased ever since he went on his spending spree. Now, on top of that, if there's tariffs for anything coming in from Canada, that's going to be another hit to our economy. And everybody pretty much unanimously wants Justin Trudeau out. They don't want him handling this situation at all. On camera today, the Bloc leader, Yves-François Blanchard, said that having lost his deputy prime minister and his finance minister, he should ask for the dissolution of parliament. Of course, conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says it's time for Trudeau to go as well. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh says the Liberals should be focusing on the issue of the tariffs right now and not on themselves. Not only the opposition parties want him to resign, but even members of his own party. Chrystia Freeland and Sean Fraser resigned. Obviously, they don't want to be involved anymore. But there are even other members inside the Liberal Party who are saying that Trudeau should step down. Yep, several of them have come out publicly and said it's time to move on. It really feels like our government is completely coming apart at the seams, and at the worst time with all this tariff business. I don't think there's any hope for putting it back together. Everyone has lost confidence in them, and there's nothing else to do but to have an election. So as far as the issue of their pensions, somebody had said, oh, well, you know, they had moved the date of the election from October 27th to October 20th so that they wouldn't have to get reelected to qualify for the pension. But look, they're not even going to make it to October anyway. So who cares? Who cares if they move it? They would have been lucky to even make it to February for Jagmeet Singh to get his pension. Never mind October. These Liberals are going to be on their way out any day now. I think at this point, it's really at the point of no return. So yeah, it's kind of been a shit show up here in Canada lately. I'm a bit worried because already we're under a lot of strain economically. How much worse can it get? I feel like, literally, like I've said before, we're turning into a third world country. If you could be here and see how bad it is, what a shoestring budget they're operating on. And it's like we're used to Canada being a rich country and we're used to being able to get whatever we need. And now it's just more and more shoestring. And wait till the Conservatives come in. They're going to cut the budget. Oh, by the way, update on that situation in Quebec where they're trying to cut $1.5 billion from our healthcare budget. And they've created this new Santé Québec, which is going to like oversee everything instead of having it with these regional CIS and CIUS system. Well, they had started to cut from the home care system, which is what I work for. And that's a bad idea because that's something that people really need. And apparently they were called to order by the government. The government called this newly created Santé Québec to order and said, you're going too far. So there is some hope with that. But in general, expect cuts. It's not going to be pretty. I mean, if you have, some money socked away somewhere, you might want to jump ship too and live like a king in Thailand. I don't know how we're going to get ourselves out of this mess. I hope it doesn't get too bad, but I'll keep you posted. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.